So, we in that new year, new me season.
Yes.
But a lot of us still have some of the same goals from 2023. And a lot of y'all, and I know for sure because y'all came up to me and asked,
You
a
did.
lot of y'all wanted to start a podcast.
Yes.
I got good news for you, player. Spotify for podcasts is here for every need you have.
We've been using Spotify for podcasters since we started our podcast. It's so easy. You literally record, edit, and upload all from your phone, your computer. So no matter what your setup looks like, you can start now.
Yes, get your conversations, your opinion, your views out to the world. People need to hear you.
You can distribute your podcast to Spotify and anywhere else that podcasts are heard.
With Spotify for podcasters, you can earn money in a multitude of ways. Ads or podcast subscriptions. I mean, it's an easy way to get your visions out to the world and earn some extra pocket change.
Yeah, my favorite thing about all of this is free 99.
Yes. They don't charge you a dime. So you really got nothing holding you back. Today, not tomorrow, today. Let's be heard. Spotify for podcasters.
Let's be seen. Welcome back to another episode of the For the Healthy Host podcast, where we talk about conscious living, self-awareness, and everything in between. I'm your host, Ree. Thank you so much for joining me and allowing me to be a part of your journey. How's everybody doing? How are y'all? How's your morning? How's your afternoon, night? Whenever you're listening to this, take a deep breath because you probably haven't, I hope you have, but you may have not done that all day. Let's take a deep breath together. Inhale through your nose and exhale through your mouth. Remind yourself the power of your breath. Sometimes we forget how powerful a deep breath is. Something so simple, yet slept on. Remind yourself you are alive, you are here. I'm doing really good. I lit my Nok Choppa this morning, had my blueberry smoothie. I'm just feeling like renewed. And there's certain days where I feel like I'm getting closer to who I'm meant to be. And there's other days where I feel like, a little minor setback. But today is one of those days where I feel even closer to the being who I am meant to be. And I love that for me. Before we jump in, I want to let you guys know that the Bali retreat, Awaken Retreat with Black Girl Magic, is now live. You can book your ticket now. Y'all, I'm so freaking excited about this. First of all, Bali it's been a dream destination for me, but to be in community with y'all, spiritual cleansing, doing rituals, meditations, affirmations, and we're actually going to have our first live podcast episode in Bali on the Awaken Retreat. I'm really excited about that. But yes, tickets are now live. I'll leave all the information in the podcast description, and I honestly cannot wait to see y'all there. That being said, let's jump right on into it. I have officially entered my I don't give a fuck era. And honestly, now that I'm here, it's like, what took you so long? And this isn't something that happened overnight. I spent most of my life caring too much about what others thought of me. I spent most of my life allowing other people's perception of me to define who I was. Allowing other people's validation or lack thereof to define if I'm worthy enough, if I'm doing enough, if I have enough, or if I'm even in spaces that I'm meant to be in. It's a tiring feeling. It's unstable. And I decided that I'm not going to be in that space anymore. It doesn't serve me. In the past, I allowed other people's opinions to really determine how I live my life. You have to think about it. If I am only doing things, only acting a certain way to please other people, to make other people happy, or to be perceived a certain way, who am I actually living for? I found myself in a space where I didn't know who I was because I allowed other people to define me. When your entire identity is based off other people's opinion, you lose a sense of who you are. I don't know, this is kind of hard for me to talk about a little bit because I lived a lot of my life in this stage of caring too much. I really have a lot of compassion and empathy for that version of myself. I just remember not being happy. And I have to say, I think learning not to care and then entering the I don't give a fuck era, I think those are actually, they're different. Those are not the same. But to get into the I don't give a fuck era, you have to go through the not caring. I think I was about 18 years old when I finally decided to be the most authentic version of myself. I think I was dabbling with the idea, in high school, 10th grade, 11th grade. But when I left home and kind of started to live a life of my own, I got more and more comfortable with being who I truly am. And it is truly one of the freest feelings. And I have been on that journey of being my most authentic self since then. Now, trust me, there were a few bumps in the road. There were a few times where someone questioned what I was doing, where someone complimented me, where someone gave me negative feedback. And it made me question myself. I think with advice, all advice should be taken with a grain of salt. Just because I don't give a fuck don't mean I won't ever take advice from anybody. But it will be taken with a grain of salt because nobody knows me better than I know myself. And I know this because I've taken the time to get to know who I am. And I continue to take the time to know who I am. I'm literally an ever-changing being. I acknowledge that. I receive that. But I make it a priority to spend the time with myself. What I've realized is when you're on the journey of becoming your most authentic self, everyone isn't going to like you. And that scared me at first. I am a recovering people pleaser. I would do things and say things just to make other people feel comfortable, even if it meant my comfort was at risk. That's how much I cared. That's how much I wanted people to like me. I would conform. I would shrink just to fit in spaces that weren't even meant for me, just to please people who didn't even really like me anyway. Because if I have to change, if I have to conform and take on shapes that aren't really me, you don't fuck with me anyways. And that fact scared me. I didn't realize then that everyone isn't for you, but the people that are for you, that are truly for you, that truly see you and understand you, that's a feeling that cannot be topped. And now I realize that. Now I'm not on a journey to find people who I think I really just wanted to be seen. I wanted to be loved. Growing up, I wasn't loved how I wanted to be loved. My mother loved me the way she knew how to love, and I appreciate and I love her for that. But sometimes, often, we're not always loved how we want to be loved. But I think I was absent-mindedly looking for that love and understanding. But now I realize I can give all that to myself. And once I have given myself that, it doesn't matter if I get it from anywhere else. But on the other hand, quite naturally, once you truly understand yourself, naturally you'll attract people, you'll attract community who sees you and understands you. Caring what people thought affected my confidence. It affected my creativity. It affected the relationship with myself, or lack thereof. I don't even know if that relationship with self even existed at that point in my life. I think with me caring so much, I really had to get to the point that I got to, where it was completely unstable, where living my life for other people literally made life feel unlivable. Because honestly, what's the point of living a life if it's not for you? There's no fun in that. There's no fulfillment in that. There's no purpose in that. There's no intention in that. So it literally took me to get to a point where I was completely unstable. Because the thing about living your life for other people, when it's good, when the compliments coming in, girl, you look good. Oh my gosh, I love how you did that. When the applause is good and it's, you can hear it loud and clear. Oh baby, it's good. It's real good. But then when you start to get, a little negative feedback or criticism, maybe you should have did like that. Oh, I really don't like this girl. Or I don't like how she did that. Oh, it's bad. It's really bad. And as someone who not only interacts with the world, as most of us do, but also someone who is a creative, I had gotten to a point where I was only putting out work that I thought satisfied my community, the audience. What I was doing was looking at the numbers, what performed well, even though I outgrew a lot of the content, a lot of the things that I was putting out then. But then once you start trusting yourself, like I have been doing this year, it has been a process, but I'm becoming, and I'm excited to see where this goes. But you know what I said? I want to sit down and talk. I have a lot on my mind. I like to talk. I like to hear myself talk, and apparently people like to hear me talk as well. But I did what I felt in my soul, and abundance has shown itself to me over and over and over again. In life in general, there will be things that other people want us to do. There will be things that, based on the analytics, based on the numbers, based on just logical thinking, like what actually makes sense, I should do X, Y, Z. But that's not what my soul wants. That's not what my soul is calling for. That's not what my inner genius is asking for. So I have made a vow to do whatever it is my soul wants, to do whatever it is that makes my heart sing. And it's, again, I know I keep saying this, but it is truly a freeing feeling to wake up and do whatever the fuck you want to do. You don't understand how freeing that is when you let go of the opinions and obligations of other people. So many doors open. So many things that was in blind spots are now in front of you. You can see them clearly now because you stopped caring what other people thought of you. You stopped caring of what other people thought of you made this decision or the next decision. I really had to stop basing my decisions in my life on what I thought would perform well, on what I thought would make this person happy. And although this journey of not giving a fuck it's up and down, just like every other journey, every other transformation, it's an up and down journey. But let me tell you something, it's way more stable than a ladder. It's way more stable than me caring so much that I basically just stopped living. Naturally, I stopped giving a fuck about what happens in my life. I stopped caring about what happens in my life. I'm someone who, as I said before, micromanages the universe, micromanages the outcome of things. I come from a worrying background. I grew up every day seeing my mother worry about one thing, then the next, and I found myself, as I went into adulthood, adopting the same behaviors. Once one problem got solved, I found another one. That one got solved, I went and looked for another one. I was continuously focusing on the problems in my life, so I found more problems in my life. But I decided that I'm going to break that curse, that generational curse. I don't want to pass that down to my daughters. What I've come to understand is that as long as I am following my heart, my intuition, feeding my soul, nothing but abundance will come to me. Nothing but love will come to me. Nothing but peace and community. All of these things that I desire, all of those things will naturally come to me when I'm doing the things that I'm supposed to do in my life, when I'm living with intention and living with purpose. Those things will come to me. I don't need to worry about what's going to happen next. I'm learning to flow with the universe. I'm learning to become one with nature. I've continued to reiterate to myself and with you, when I go against the natural flow of the universe, when I am resistant to what should be naturally occurring, I'm interfering with nature. Nothing else interferes with nature. Not the trees, not water, not the seasons. So why should I? I will not be the one who messes this up. So I'm no longer going to be pressed about what's happening. When is this happening? First of all, that's manifestation 101. You set your intention, you do the work, And you forget. You don't micromanage. You let it happen as it's going to happen. Because let me tell you something. Everything that's for me is for me. Everything that I want is already mine. If I was able to think it, it's mine. The power of visualization is crazy. And I think we underestimate it so much. I want to tell you something. I don't think you realize that our mind, our brain, has this thing to where it literally cannot tell the difference between something we visualize and real life. That's why it's so important to not live in the past, not relive experiences that didn't serve us. But that's why it is so important to visualize all the things you want. Visualize yourself winning. Visualize yourself living an abundant life, living a life full of love, a life full of peace. Surely it'll be yours. Everything you visualize will come to life. And that is a fact. And I have to keep reminding myself of that fact. Every chance I get, I thank the universe. I speak blessings and abundance and gratitude into my life. With all of that, I have learned to just be, just exist with nature, with the universe, and understand that everything is working out for me. I have no doubt about that. Now that I don't allow things to drain my energy, like caring too much, I realize I have so much left. And I have given that energy to myself. I've given that energy to loving myself unconditionally. I think most of us just want to be loved unconditionally. And I've made it a priority to love myself unconditionally. Even when I think I'm doing bad. Honestly, at the beginning of this conversation, I thought I bummed it. You didn't see it. You didn't hear it. But I thought I bummed it. I put the mic down. I was like, I'm done. You're not doing a good job. And I realized, like, okay, you're really talking bad to yourself right now. Let's love ourselves unconditionally. Let's talk nicely to ourselves. I had to tell myself, you know exactly what to say. Speak from your heart. You got this. And that's what loving myself unconditionally has looked like. It has looked like me talking to myself how I would talk to a friend. It's so crazy because we would never treat a friend bad. You know, we would never talk to a friend bad. We would hype them up. Hype yourself up how you would hype your friend up. That's what I have to do to myself. Thank you, Little Ree, for always having my back the best way that you could, the best way that you know how. But now I'm giving you permission. I'm giving us permission to break free from the opinions, obligations of society. This is the life that we've known for so long now. But I promise you, there's so much freedom, so much growth on the other side of this. And with that being said, thank you so much for being here with me today. I appreciate it. Like literally, you allowing me into your space, you just listening to me talk. It means the world to me. You don't understand. I love you so much. I'm sending you so much peace, so much abundance, so much love, and everything you need in this moment. I'll talk to you next time. Bye. Mwah.